Show us your tips. We're back for another week. We had a fun first episode last week, Beaver. Productive weekend.
Yeah, very productive weekend. Really hit our straps early.
That's good.
And finished off nicely with Buffalo River.
Tremendous. We best of our day for both of us.
Yeah,
Just
you were
Buffalo
flying
River
early.
and Toffee Tongue was good. I think I was 5 from 7 earlier.
Yeah, you had
that was a bit of fun.
Rising Red at $10.
Rising Red. The Waller Horse. No, the Rocket Clock. We had Rising Red, Rocket Clock, and Keelong.
Yes,
Kicked it
that's
off
right.
in style, so that was good.
Yes.
We were away, and we both managed to. We didn't tip it, but we both managed to land a Quaddie each, and keep it. Obviously, we must be keeping our ASET to ourselves, but we both threw in a bit of value. And you got the Sandown one, and I was able to land the Melbourne one, and the Moorfield one. So
Yes,
it was a good day out.
Scratchings changed a few things.
Yeah, so we're going to try and be a bit more proactive on Facebook and get some stuff up when scratchings come out, and a bit of late mail on a Saturday Arvo as we get bigger and better and keep growing. But thanks everyone tuning in again. I hope you found a few winners if you listened last week, and if you're jumping on board for the first time, please subscribe on Spotify and YouTube and give us a bit of feedback. Get into us, tell us your best every weekend. We'll try. Eventually we're going to have 2 shows a week. That's the plan. I saw him right yesterday at Canterbury too, so it was a good day out.
Yeah, awesome.
And we'll get into that each and every week. But for now, we've got a big day. We've got black type racing in 3 out of the 4 big states. We've got Gosford Cup Day at Randwick, which we're about to preview the Quaddie legs. We've got group racing at Brisbane, obviously Group 1 racing at Morphettville, and we've got the usual strong Melbourne Saturday Fair.
Yep.
So in this part, for those watching, we're going to get into the Gosford Cup meeting at Randwick. As happened with Hawkesbury last week, it's been transferred to Randwick. And reasonable program, not the strongest metro program we've seen, Beaver, but we're going to get in this first. How do you approach the form for this?
Yeah, so we'll kick off looking at the Quaddie legs, 6, 7, 8 and 9. Look, I think... it's again just interesting to know what the track's going to be doing.
I worked on a drying track. It's supposed to be quite nice tomorrow.
Yeah, today was a nice day.
Friday, by the time everything is supposed to be nice heading into Saturday. So
so a good day tomorrow. So the track will be dried out. So hopefully it's a fair and even track, and horses are given a chance no matter where they sit.
I'm pretty keen on a few leaders, so I'm hoping we can run the rail a bit, which has been happening at Randwick. So if that strays true to form, which is what I worked on, we should have a bit of luck.
No worries.
Should we get into race 6, which kicks off the Quaddie, the benchmark 78? So a lot of this is benchmark racing. So it's a bit of a midweek meeting on a Saturday.
Yep.
Bar features, but a benchmark 78 over the 1,800 metres. And what's the market look like?
Yeah, the market is Batigo at $3, Love Seat at $3.60, Gone By $6, Welsh Legend at $8, New Arrangement $9, Lumion $9.50, and $13 the rest.
Spanner in the works because I haven't checked myself. Do you know if New Arrangement's staying here or going to Melbourne?
Don't know at the moment.
It's
at this
emergency
stage.
here. I've got a feeling it might be going down south.
Yeah.
But we'll mention it in both. But for the purposes of this, we'll treat it as if it's here.
Well, Butigo is a dual acceptor as well.
Yep.
So for this race, not sure if it'll start in this race because I think it's an emergency.
In the feature.
In the feature race. So interesting, and they haven't named a jockey yet in race 6.
I've got a feeling that if New Arrangement doesn't get a start, Nash might ride Batiga.
Right, okay.
But that's just a hunch based on the jockeying bookings that they've held off until the scratchings come out. If you look at Bossy, Clark and Rorilla all on emergencies, they're all fine.
Yeah, cool.
Fine for them getting a run. Do you want to kick off?
Yeah, I'll kick off, mate. Not a bad little race. Look, I'm going to go Love Seat. I'm not sure if Batiga will start, but I like Love Seat. I think it's, drawn a little wide, but I think it'll help it. It'll get back in the field, and it'll have the last shot at him. Last start win was good, finished off really well. A little bit of money for it already. Huey Bowman, who's flying after last weekend, I think Love Seat. And New Arrangement is my danger. I tipped it as my value bet last week. I think it should have finished closer last week. It was.
I can't say it should have won, but it.
Yeah, I can't say that it should have finished closer.
If it gets the rails there, it gets a split. It challenges you.
Yeah, I was liking the look at it around the bend. It just couldn't get a run, and then the race was gone by the time it sort of got clear air. So it wasn't a bad run, and they're backing it up again this weekend. So, but yeah, I like Love Seat with New Arrangement as the main danger.
Beautiful. I have gone. So basically, I went and started and went the Welsh Legend form, the Yonkers form, and that means half the race is all tied to each other.
Yep.
So I sort of went through that and said, not a lot out of that interests me. So I'm going to go the two outside of that. Having said that, New Ranger and Unforgiving last start probably should have won. But my top tip, if it runs here, is going to be Bottega. I think the obvious of chasing Canaan home last start and before that Ntante.
Yeah.
Really good runs both starts. Canaan would have started favourite in the Adelaide Derby if it had gone there. So I'm going through this, coming back to essentially a midweek race with a lot of these people tied together, a lot of these horses tied together. So I'm going Bottega. I think the quick backup is going to suit New Arrangement, and that would be the other place I'd play. Probably sit a little bit further forward. Had a pretty good run last start, but I think it'll push forward from out of Nash, and there'll be intent that's on the 7-day backup, be the traditional Waller play that had been a finish, and that was about, I think it's about $8 now, you said? Yeah, $9.
New Arrangement's $9.
Yeah, so I think they're the two, and I don't have any. And back on the dry, it was a really good win. Love seat, like you said, no problems there. Had enough for lure me in, have you?
Yeah, no chance with me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd agree with that.
And word for word, exactly the same.
Oh, word for word's done. Sick of that. Canasta worked quite hard outside lead last start, but there's not a lot else. Welsh Legend had a bit of a birthday. Like I've just, all that stuff stuck together. I just went, no. Gone by as honest has been very honest, but I think the pace scenario doesn't suit it. It really fought really well last week at Kenzo, but it got beat by Yonkers, and New Ranger should have beat home last start.
Exactly.
So I've gone the obvious there. I think that's a pretty concise way to start it. We'll go into race 7, the Gosford Gold Cup.
Yep.
Now at Randwick. Over the 2,000 metres, listed race. Beaver, how's the market look?
Yeah, the market's an interesting market here, pretty open. Graceful Glamour, $4.20. Best of Day, $6.50. Bottega is $6.50 if it gets a start. Yulong
Is there a jockey booking there for you?
Yeah, it is.
Who's
Bottega, Abdallah. Yulong Prince is $8.50. Brimham Rocks, $9.50. House of Cartier, last start winner is $9.50, and 11 plus the rest.
Beautiful.
Over to you, mate. What do you like?
I am going to go rinse and repeat from 3 weeks back. It's Graceful Glamour with no chasers here.
Yep.
There's no one to chase it down here. I thought $4.20 is a good bet. We both went in, chips in on Rachel King last week. It's the only concern without being a jockey hater. I just think she should race fine. She's got one job. It's find a rail and sit there and hold on for 2,000 metres. She did it quite well, to be honest. Just got nailed by one horse last start with Lifeless Ordinary running down, your tip. I think it's just rinse and repeat, same run, set up, ready to go. $4.20, I think it's a very good bet because there's less chases here than there was 2 weeks ago.
Yep.
The only one that and if it had been a Gosford, I would have declared it tomorrow. Going around Gosford on the pace. Awesome. That would have been a great play. That was the setup going this. Unfortunately, it is here. The only one, and then I just went through everyone. If Bottega runs everything I just said in the last race, I'll transfer here. But given I assume it'll race in the race before, the only one is House of Cartier's had to kill. I know it was at Wagga, but it's finally had a kill. It's been racing well. It's a nice horse. Other than that, they're just not horses that go round and round and round. And I'm going to pick one that's going to lead the carousel. Yep. So that's it for me. $4.20. Pretty keen.
Yep, same for you. I really like Graceful Glamour as well. It's got to go. It runs, likes to lead. It's got to go forward from the wide barrier. So it's going to lead. There's not a lot of pace in the race.
I think Wendo and White Boots are the chasers. And Wendo's been okay up in Queensland, but this is coming to essentially A grade from up north.
Yep, so it's been going well. Good consistent form this preparation. So I like Graceful Glamour as well. I think the knockout horses is probably Brimham Rocks and House of Cartier. You're right with House of Cartier. Finally found the right race for it last start and ran well. Brimham Rocks is, a couple of preps ago.
I think it probably has to go forward from out there.
Yeah, it's probably got to go forward, which it would have anyway. Probably sit off the pace. Will be improved after the first up run. But, it's one of those horses that doesn't win out of turn.
But honest.
But honest, and tends to go well when it's at a bit of a price. But, getting a bit long in the tooth. But, look, Graceful Glamour is the best horse in this race.
I went looking for Brigham as well, but I didn't do much for me last start. Covered ground. It was only 2 lengths off him, but potentially better here. But I agree. I think we've nailed the first 2 there, and we're probably on the same page here in the listed takeover target stakes over the 1,200 metres. and give us a market.
Yeah, the market is Grey Worm $3.20, Deprive $5.50, Tactical Advantage $6, Snitsy is $6, and All Too Royal $8, and you can get double figure odds the rest.
What are we tipping?
Grey Worm.
Yep.
Yeah, so Grey Worm, I think, you're right. Look, it's going to go to the front again. Snits may...
My only concern is Snits may be a good horse.
Yes.
Because I don't know how good Snits is. Everything else I can pen and finish what you're saying.
Yeah, so I think, Grey Worm is carrying 59.5, but again, look, it's a good horse against some okay horses, but again, Deprive, I just got to see it do something this prep before it's going to get me. Tactical Advantage had the race run to suit last start.
I was going to ask, that's the only one I'd ask you about, Tactical Advantage.
Yeah, finished over the top of him last week and knocked me out. So I wasn't too happy about that. But, look, Grey Worm will, if he gets a cheap enough lead, I can't see him running it down.
Then the two that resumed the other week, All Too Royal and Signore Fox, didn't do much for you?
No, it did nothing for me. So, again, I'd probably want to see them show a little bit more than what they did last week before I'm going to put my money on.
I think, and it does lose Avdallah, who's a bit better. I did have Tommy Berry read it quite well. I started to tell a lie. Avdallah didn't start before. It just crosses leads and should have control. It should be a rinse and repeat of what it did 2 weeks ago.
You would think so.
And very little chases. The fear is Snits. For me, Deprive I've had enough of, and Tactical Advantage was good last week, but had the setup and something had to run.
Maybe one for the Quaddie.
I think when we get to our quaddies, it might be a little bit wider than we make it out, but Grey Worm, very, very good bet.
Yep.
We get to roll through to race 9, the benchmark 88 over the mile, and give us a market here.
Yeah, favourite Grand Piano at $2.70, tight in the market. Rapido Shapiro is $6, Dealmaker $8.50, Costello $9, Massaf at $9.50, and 12s plus the rest.
Must be my turn.
It's your turn.
So I'm going to go the obvious. I'm going to go back to Grand Piano after we did last start with Nash. I just don't like the price. I think it's now 6th start into its prep and
5th start into the prep.
5th start? It is 5th start, sorry. 5th start into the prep, but I think I'd want more than $3 to have a proper bet. I think it probably wins. Youngish horse against, again, a bunch of numbers. Dealmaker was good last start through the Face Toss race, which Face Toss came out and won last week for me. But that's the danger. But Grand Piano is the obvious. And Rapido Shapiro, if it was double figures, was a very good run last start, but now it's quite well found. It's probably going to control like it did last start. But it is Rapido Shapiro. So I think Grand Piano is the obvious, but I wouldn't sit here and say let's have your house on it. The Massaf trial, I couldn't work out. It trialled, sat 3 wide or trial, went around the bend and trialled okay. And now it's got Bowman. So there is a play there. I think it goes in my quaddie, but I think I think your bet's still Grand Piano, but I'd want $3.
Yeah.
What can you add to that?
Yeah, look, not a lot. I think Grand Piano gets a reasonable draw. It's probably just going to sit behind them. It's going to put itself in a good position in the straight. At some stage in the straight, it's going to look the winner. It's had 4.
You're betting on. I think you're betting on if it's up and going. If it's still up and going, it wins this race.
Yeah, look, it's only had 4 starts this prep, won 3 out of the 4. And I always say at this time of the year, winning form is good form.
And John Thompson's he's not a use-all up trainer. He's a Bart Cummings mould through that yard. Him and Baker keep going well through the preps. They tend to just keep going well.
And you probably will get around that $3 mark, but you've got to look at the rest of the field. I agree with you. Dealmaker's run last start was good. 4th run in this prep. So it should be ready to do its best, but it has got 61 kilos.
Exactly. Robbie Dolan takes a kilo off, so it does go around 59.5.
Yeah.
But I think that's fair enough, but that's penalised for 3-year-old form where it hasn't won now in about 6 months. So.
Yeah, so look, again, last favourite for me.
Reasonable betting day. Should we touch on our quaddie and then we'll get to our best bets?
Yeah, let's touch on our quaddie. So we'll go back to the first leg.
So go back through. I've got my notes here. And should we touch on any other bets for the day? Let's do our quaddie.
We'll do our quaddie first and come back to that.
So first leg. I've gone a bit wider here. but you can brush me out if you want to.
Yeah, we'll have a tight look.
Okay, 3, which is Batiga.
Yep.
7, Canasta leading. Let's take a leave
Canasta's
it.
gone.
10, Welsh Legend. 11, Love Seat. 13 and 14, which gives us Gone By a new arrangement. I'm happy to, if the scratchings come out, we might lose 3 out of there anyway, but we can drop, we'll drop Canasta anyway.
Yep.
So it gives us 5 horses there. Anyone else?
No, let's go with 5.
Go with 5.
The first.
Second leg, I've gone 6 and 9. Beaver, what have you gone?
6 and 9 for me is fine. Pretty keen on...
Which is House of Cartier saving over Graceful Grammar.
Yeah, that's fine.
And again, I've gone 1, 3, 8 in the 8th.
1, 3, 8 in the 8th. Yep.
Which gives us Tackle Advantage, Grey Worm and Snitz.
Yep.
And who have you come home with, Beaver?
So come home with... look, I think we've got to go the 1.
Yep.
Obviously the 11 as the fave.
Mm-hmm.
And
I've got 6 and I've 6 just because I don't know what it is myself.
Yeah, 6 is fine. I'm happy with that.
And Rapida Chopara if it's playing fence.
Okay, that's
1,
fine.
4, 6, 11.
Yep.
Which gives us 5, 2, 3 and 4 combos.
So it's 10, 30.
10, 30 for 120 combos. Yeah.
So $60 will give you 50%.
Yep.
So
I think it's a reasonable bet there.
$50, you're getting around about the 40 to 45% mark.
Yeah. If it was me, I'd probably take $50 that and throw $10 on our tips.
Yes.
Because I think there's a chance that Grey Worm, Grand Piano and Graceful Glamour will win.
Yes.
All right, it's time to show us your tips in Sydney. Beaver, you can kick off for me.
Yeah. My best bet of the day is Grey Worm. $3.20. I think it's going to be really hard to beat. Liked what it did last start. I think it won pretty comfortably, so that's my best bet of the day. And my best value bet of the day comes up in the very first race, the Tab Highway. Pretty open race, $5 a field, but I'm going to go for number 3, Luna Mia, $9. So that's my
good bet.
That's my each way bet of the day.
You don't mind that horse, do you? You tipped it last time we spoke.
Yes.
When it ran around.
Yeah. No, I like Paul Massara.
My best of the day is going to be Graceful Glamour. I'm pretty keen 420. I think that's a good bet. But I'm going to mention that I'm quite keen on Grey Worm as well. I'm quite keen on Master Crusader, but I'm not going to tip 1 odds on. And I think Hellenism up against you is a good bet around the $5. I've learnt the hard way not to play too many multis, but for those that you can take that what you will, people who like to throw them in a multi. And my best each way value will be Equation, race 2, number 6, the 2-year-old. The trialled awesome for Kieran Maher, gate 1. Tommy Berry should just sit there, and I would have had a good bet on Wednesday. Got a scratch to save for this. Not a bad race, but I've got a bit of an opinion of the horse. I think it's got nice action. I think it's trialled really well.
Yep.
And $8 seems a fair bet to me.
That's a good leg up when they scratch it midweek. For the
to keep it for here. I think it probably would have won there. So just to mention on the BRC Cup, Group 3 is going to go round up at Doomben on Saturday as well.
Yep.
As we're sitting and watching. Did you have a look at the markets there? I went through. I couldn't find much of interest. Beav, anything for you up there?
Look, I didn't really like the races at Brisbane on the weekend. Look, tough races. The main race of the day, Kementari 360, Vega 1 380, Outback Barbie 550, Victorium 650, Deep Image $9, and 11's the rest. Look, one of those 5 will win the race. There's no doubt about it. But Kementari was a good run again last start. Got held up. Only got clear at the end. It'll give him it's clearly the best horse in this race. The 1200s kind of worries me a little bit with the big weight to wind up again, and it's not the longest of straights, so it's gonna
be positive.
It's got to be a bit more positive. It's got gate 8, so. But most of those will sit back in the field as well.
I think it's time for it to. It's got to sit out so late just to try and bully this field.
Yeah.
I think it's third up time for Kementari as well. If it's going to do something, it'll be this prep. It'll be this run, I should say. Had the blowout behind Vega Days where we sort of talked about it. Then the Grey Worm race where it was just the Grey Worm went around and Greyhound and it's now fit. It's now time. Cummings is smart enough to know if it was going here, it's going there for a reason. And it could be getting, hopefully, this on the way to going into the 10,000 and the Stradbroke.
Yep.
I agree. It's probably money where mouth is time. Vega Days had the infamous Bailey Nodriff ride last start, which is the only danger there, where it was an interesting ride. He got 3 months for that today. But I think it's Kementari time there. Looking forward to seeing how the former Special K goes.
Yes.
But not much else there. I tried to find something else we can talk about, but it's
Nothing
a
for me.
stock standard meeting. It is harder now. I think trainers aren't going to travel across the border, and that's not the usual Brisbane Carnival. But something there, hopefully, from Kementari, and we'll be back in a sec to talk about everything Melbourne and Adelaide.
Perfect.